My beloved child, listen carefully, because this is not just another message. This is something your soul was meant to hear at this exact moment. And if you clicked on this video, it is not by accident. It is because something deeper is trying to reach you, something unseen, something unspoken, something that has been quietly growing in the shadows of your life, and you may not even realize it yet, but someone is secretly obsessed with you. Yes, someone has been watching you, thinking about you, feeling drawn to you in a way they cannot control, and yet despite the intensity of what they feel, they remain silent, they remain distant, they hide behind fear and hesitation. And you might be wondering why would someone feel so strongly and yet do nothing? Why would someone care so deeply and still choose to stay hidden? The truth is, their emotions are overwhelming even for them. They did not expect to feel this way. They did not plan this connection. They did not wake up one day deciding to become consumed by thoughts of you. It happened slowly, quietly, and then all at once, like a wave that they could not stop. And now they are standing at the edge of a decision, torn between expressing what they feel and protecting themselves from the risk of losing you forever, because in their mind you are not just another person, you are something rare, something they cannot easily replace. And that is exactly what scares them the most, because when someone becomes that important, the fear of rejection becomes unbearable. The fear of ruining what little connection exists becomes paralyzing, and so they choose silence, they choose distance, they choose to watch from afar, hoping for a sign, hoping for a moment, hoping for anything that will tell them it is safe to come closer. And you may have felt this energy without even understanding it. You may have noticed certain signs, certain moments where something felt different, where someone's presence lingered longer than usual, where their eyes seemed to say more than their words ever could, where their actions did not quite match their silence. And deep down you felt it, but you ignored it, you questioned it, you told yourself you were imagining things, but you were not imagining anything, because this connection is real, this energy is real, and it is pulling both of you towards something that neither of you fully understand yet. And here is where it becomes urgent, because this situation will not stay like this forever. Something is about to shift, something is about to change, and you need to be ready, because when emotions are this strong, they cannot remain hidden forever. They will either break through or they will collapse under the weight of fear. And the direction this takes depends on what happens next, depends on whether courage finally overcomes fear, or whether fear wins once again and keeps everything locked away in silence and regret. And I need you to understand this clearly. You are not powerless in this situation, even if you do not know who this person is, or even if you suspect but are not sure. Your energy, your awareness, your openness can influence what happens next, because sometimes all it takes is a small signal, a small shift, a small moment of clarity to give someone the courage they have been searching for. And right now that moment is closer than you think, because this person has reached a point where they cannot keep everything inside anymore. Their thoughts are becoming louder, their emotions are becoming heavier, their desire to come closer is becoming stronger than their fear. But fear is still there, holding them back, whispering doubts, telling them stories of what could go wrong, telling them they are not good enough, telling them they will lose you if they try. And that inner battle is exhausting them, it is draining them, it is keeping them stuck between two worlds: the world where they express everything and risk everything, and the world where they say nothing and lose everything slowly over time. And you need to realize that people do not stay in that state forever. Eventually something breaks, eventually something gives, and when that moment comes, it will not be subtle, it will not be quiet, it will be a turning point, a moment that changes everything. Either they will finally step forward and reveal what has been hidden all along, or they will retreat completely, convincing themselves that silence is safer, even if it means living with regret. And that is why this message matters. That is why you needed to hear this now, because you are standing at the edge of that turning point whether you realize it or not, and the energy around you is shifting, preparing for something significant, preparing for a revelation, preparing for a moment that will force everything into the open. And I want you to think about this carefully. Has there been someone in your life recently who acts differently around you, someone who seems to care more than they admit, someone who watches you when they think you are not looking, someone who finds reasons to be near you but never fully crosses the line, someone whose silence feels louder than their words? Because these are not coincidences, these are signals, these are pieces of a puzzle that is slowly coming together, and the more you become aware of it, the clearer it will become, because awareness changes everything. When you start noticing, you start understanding. When you start understanding, you start seeing patterns. When you start seeing patterns, you start realizing that what once seemed random is actually deeply connected, and this connection is not weak, it is not temporary, it is intense, it is consuming, it is something that has the power to change both of your lives, but only if it is allowed to grow, only if it is given the space to breathe, only if fear does not destroy it before it has a chance to become something real. And this is where your role becomes important, because even though you are not the one hiding, even though you are not the one holding back, your energy still affects the outcome. Your openness, your presence, your willingness to receive can either create a safe space for this person to step forward or reinforce their fear and keep them trapped in silence. And I am not telling you to chase, I am not telling you to force anything, I am telling you to be aware, to be present, to recognize what is happening, so that when the moment comes you are not caught off guard, so that you can respond with clarity instead of confusion. Because confusion can close doors that were meant to open, and hesitation can delay something that was meant to happen sooner. And right now timing is everything. This is not a situation that will wait forever. This is not a feeling that will remain unchanged forever. This is something that is building toward a moment, and that moment is approaching faster than you think. And if you ignore the signs, if you dismiss the energy, if you refuse to see what is right in front of you, you may miss it. You may let it pass you by and only realize later what it truly was, and by then it may be too late, because missed opportunities have a way of turning into silent regrets, and unspoken feelings have a way of fading into distant memories that never fully disappear. And I do not want that for you. I do not want you to look back and wonder what could have been. I want you to be present in what is happening now. I want you to recognize the shift. I want you to feel the energy and understand that something important is unfolding around you, something that requires your awareness, something that requires your attention. Because the truth is, you are not just being watched, you are being felt, you are being thought of, you are being remembered in moments you know nothing about. And that kind of connection is not ordinary, it is not casual, it is something deeper, something more powerful, something that does not come into your life without a reason, and the reason is about to reveal itself in a way you cannot ignore. So stay alert, stay aware, and most importantly, do not let this moment pass you by, because what is hidden now will not stay hidden for long. And when it finally comes into the light, everything will change, and you will understand why you were guided to this message at this exact moment. Because this was never random, this was preparation for what is coming next. And what is coming next will test your awareness, your intuition, and your ability to recognize what is real before it slips away forever. My beloved child, feel this deeply, because what is unfolding now is even more intense than what you have already begun to sense. And if you thought the silence around you was empty, you are about to realize it has been full all along, full of unspoken emotions, full of restrained desire, full of moments where this person came so close to revealing everything but stopped at the very last second, because fear wrapped around their heart and pulled them back again and again and again. And this pattern has not been random, it has been building, it has been repeating itself In cycles where they gather courage then lose it, where they move closer then retreat, where they almost speak then choose silence, and every time they pull back it hurts them more than you could ever imagine, because holding in something this powerful is not easy, it is not light, it is not something a person can carry forever without it changing them, and this is exactly what is happening. They are changing, their thoughts are becoming louder, their emotions are becoming heavier, their patience is running thinner and thinner, and you may not see it on the surface, but inside them there is a storm growing stronger with every passing moment, and storms do not stay contained forever. Eventually they break, eventually they release everything they have been holding, and when that moment arrives it will not be subtle, it will not be gentle, it will be overwhelming, it will be undeniable, and it will change the dynamic between you forever, because once truth is spoken it cannot be taken back. Once feelings are revealed they cannot be hidden again, and this is the point they are approaching right now, the edge where silence is no longer an option, and yet the fear is still there, whispering doubts, telling them to wait, telling them to hold back, telling them they might lose you if they take that step. And you need to understand this clearly. The fear they feel is not small, it is rooted in the belief that you are too important to risk, that what they feel for you is too valuable to gamble on uncertainty, and that belief is both what keeps them connected to you and what keeps them away from you at the same time. And this is why their behavior may seem confusing to you, because one moment they appear close, attentive, present, almost like they are about to cross that invisible line, and the next moment they become distant, quiet, withdrawn, as if they are trying to protect themselves from something that has not even happened yet. And you may have taken this personally, you may have wondered if you did something wrong, if you misread the situation, if you imagine the connection, but the truth is none of this is about you making a mistake. This is about them fighting a battle within themselves, a battle between what they feel and what they fear, and right now that battle is reaching its peak, and you are going to start noticing it more clearly. You are going to see the cracks in their silence, you are going to feel the intensity in their presence, you are going to catch moments where their emotions slip through despite their attempts to control them, and those moments are not accidents, they are glimpses of what is really happening beneath the surface, glimpses of a truth that is trying to come out no matter how hard they try to contain it. And this is where your awareness becomes even more important, because as these cracks begin to show you will be faced with a choice whether to ignore them and stay in confusion, or to acknowledge them and step into clarity, because clarity does not mean forcing anything, it does not mean confronting or demanding, it means understanding, it means seeing what is there without denying it, and allowing the situation to unfold with awareness instead of blindness. And this awareness will change how you respond, it will change how you interpret their actions, it will change how you carry your own energy, because when you understand that someone is acting from fear rather than indifference, you stop taking their distance as rejection and start seeing it as hesitation, and hesitation can be overcome, but only if it is met with the right energy, because if fear meets coldness it grows stronger, if fear meets pressure it becomes resistance, but if fear meets calm presence and subtle openness it begins to weaken, it begins to lose its control. And this is where your power lies, not in chasing, not in forcing, not in trying to pull them out of their shell, but in holding a space where they feel safe enough to step out on their own, because at the end of the day the decision to reveal their feelings has to come from them. It cannot be pushed, it cannot be demanded, it has to be chosen, and that choice is getting closer every single day, because the weight of what they feel is becoming too heavy to carry alone. And you will see signs of this in ways you might not expect, sudden shifts in how they look at you, moments where they seem lost in thought around you, small actions that reveal more than they intend, subtle attempts to get your attention or to test your reaction without fully exposing themselves, and these are all part of the process, all part of the build up to that inevitable moment where everything either comes out or falls apart. And I need you to be ready for both possibilities, because while it is very likely that they will gather the courage to speak, there is still a chance that fear could hold them back one last time. And if that happens, you must not lose yourself in confusion or doubt. You must not question your worth or your perception, because their silence would not be a reflection of you. It would be a reflection of their inability to overcome their own fear, and that is something you cannot control and should not carry as your burden. But at the same time, do not close yourself off, do not harden your heart in anticipation of disappointment, because that would block the very connection that is trying to reach you. And right now the energy is leaning toward revelation, toward truth, toward something finally being expressed after so much time of being hidden. And when that moment comes, it may catch you off guard. It may happen in a way you did not expect, in a moment you did not plan. And that is why you need to stay present, you need to stay aware, you need to trust your intuition, because your intuition has already been picking up on this long before your mind tried to make sense of it, and it will guide you in that moment. It will help you understand what is real and what is fear, what is genuine and what is hesitation. And you must listen to it, because this is not just about them. This is also about you stepping into a deeper level of awareness, a deeper level of understanding, a deeper level of connection with your own perception of reality. And as this unfolds, you will start to see things more clearly, not just in this situation but in other areas of your life as well. Because once you learn to recognize hidden emotions, once you learn to read energy beyond words, you cannot unlearn it. You begin to see patterns, you begin to understand people on a level that goes beyond surface interactions, and that is a powerful shift, a shift that will change how you experience connections moving forward. And right now you are in the middle of that shift, whether you realize it or not, and everything that is happening is guiding you toward it, preparing you for it, making sure that when the truth finally reveals itself, you are not confused, you are not lost, you are ready to receive it with clarity, with understanding, and with the ability to respond in a way that aligns with what you truly want. Because in the end, this is not just about someone being secretly obsessed with you. This is about whether that hidden energy transforms into something real or fades away into something that never fully existed. And that outcome is closer than you think. It is forming right now, and the choices being made, in the energy being exchanged, in the awareness you choose to have or ignore. And the next phase of this will bring everything into the open one way or another, and when it does, there will be no more guessing, no more wondering, no more silent tension. There will only be truth, and truth always changes everything, my beloved child. Now this is the final moment, the moment where everything that has been building, everything that has been hidden, everything that has been silently growing behind the scenes begins to reach its conclusion. And you must listen more closely than ever, because what happens next will not just reveal their truth, it will also reveal yours. And this is where many people make the biggest mistake. They become so focused on the other person, so consumed by the idea that someone is secretly obsessed with them, that they forget to ask themselves the most important question of all: what do I truly feel? What do I truly want? Because the truth is, this connection cannot move forward based on one person's hidden emotions alone. It cannot survive on silence and longing. It requires clarity from both sides. It requires honesty, not just from them but from you as well. And this is why this moment is so powerful, because it is not just about them finding the courage to speak, it is about you being ready to respond with truth when they do. Because when they finally step forward, when they finally break through that wall of fear, when they finally let their emotions be seen, you will feel it instantly. There will be no confusion, there will be no doubt. It will be clear, it will be direct, it will be something that shifts the energy between you in a way that cannot be ignored. And in that exact moment you will have a choice to make a real choice, not based on imagination, not based on guessing, but based on reality. Do you open the door to this connection, or do you walk away from it? And there is no right or wrong answer here, only the answer that aligns with your truth, because sometimes what feels intense, what feels magnetic, what feels almost destined is not always what is meant to stay. Sometimes it is meant to teach you something, sometimes it is meant to show you your own value, your own power, your own ability to attract deep emotions from others and then move on. And other times it is meant to grow into something real, something stable, something that evolves beyond secrecy and fear into honesty and connection. But the only way to know which path this is for you is to be completely honest with yourself in that moment, not influenced by their feelings, not pressured by the intensity, not carried away by the idea of what it could be, but grounded in what you truly feel, because your feelings matter just as much as theirs. Your clarity matters just as much as their courage. And this is something you must not forget, because when someone has been hiding their emotions for so long, there can be a sudden rush when everything comes out, a rush of intensity, a rush of attention, a rush of energy that can feel overwhelming and even intoxicating. But intensity is not always the same as alignment, and attention is not always the same as genuine compatibility. And this is where your awareness will protect you. This is where everything you have sensed, everything you have observed, everything you have learned through this experience will guide you to make the right decision for yourself, and not just react to the moment, but truly understand it. Because the end of this situation is not just about them revealing their obsession, it is about you seeing the full picture clearly, without illusion, without confusion, without being pulled into something that does not serve you, and at the same time without pushing away something that could be meaningful and real. And this balance is what will define your outcome, because if you choose with awareness, if you choose with clarity, then no matter what direction this takes, it will be the right one for you. It will lead you toward growth, it will lead you toward truth, it will lead you toward a deeper understanding of yourself and of connections in general. And that is the real purpose of this entire experience, not just the revelation of their feelings, but the evolution of your awareness, the strengthening of your intuition, the realization that you are not someone who needs to chase or guess or doubt. You are someone who can feel, who can see, who can understand what is hidden beneath the surface, and make choices from a place of strength rather than uncertainty. And as this comes to an end, as this hidden chapter finally closes one way or another, you will not be the same person who started this journey. You will be more aware, more grounded, more connected to your own inner voice. And that is something that no outcome can take away from you, because even if this person does not step forward, even if fear wins and they remain silent, even if the truth never fully comes out, you will still have gained something valuable. You will still have learned to trust what you feel. You will still have recognized the signs. You will still have grown beyond the need for external confirmation. And that is power, real power, the kind that stays with you in every future connection, the kind that protects you from illusions, the kind that helps you recognize what is real and what is not. And if they do step forward, if they do choose courage over fear, if they finally reveal everything they have been hiding, then this moment will become the beginning of something new, something that has the potential to grow beyond secrecy, into honesty, beyond fear, into trust, beyond obsession, into something balanced and mutual. But only if both of you choose that path, only if both of you are willing to move forward with clarity and not fall back into old patterns of silence and hesitation. Because the truth has a purpose, and once it is revealed, it must be honored, it must be acknowledged, it must be handled with care and respect. And that responsibility belongs to both of you, not just them, not just you, but both. And now, as you reach the end of this message, understand this: nothing that has happened was random. Nothing that you felt was an illusion. Nothing that you Noticed was meaningless. It was all part of a process leading to this exact point where truth and awareness meet, where hidden emotions and conscious understanding come together, where a decision is made not in confusion but in clarity, and that is where your power is, that is where your control is, not in forcing outcomes, not in chasing answers, but in choosing how you respond when everything is finally revealed. So stay aware, stay grounded. Trust what you feel and do not let fear weather it. Is theirs or yours? Decide the outcome for you, because what is meant to be will not require you to lose yourself to keep it, and what is not meant to stay will not become right just because it feels intense in the moment. And as this chapter closes, remember, you were never just a passive part of this story. You were always a central force in how it unfolds, and now the ending is here. The truth is near, and whatever happens next will not just show you who they are, it will show you who you have become. And that is the real transformation, that is the real message, and that is why you were meant to hear this before it was too late.